How women really think and how this affects men's perception of them. Introduction. What do women think about? What do women think about? The answer to this question is not as simple as one might think. Women are a diverse group of individuals with different opinions and values. There are some things that all women will agree on, but there are also things that only some women will agree on. This is a question that has been asked by many people, and there have been many different answers given to it. There are some who believe that the answer to this question is simple, while others believe that the answer is complex and cannot be answered in just one sentence or paragraph. The first thing that comes to mind when talking about what women think about usually has something to do with their children, family, or their partner. This may not be true for all women though, because some may not have children or even a partner in their life at all times. Men talk about women's issues and our thoughts are judged with a double standard. We can never know what it is like to be a woman in this society. We can never know what it is like to be a woman who has been sexually assaulted or harassed. We can never know what it is like to be a woman who has been shamed for her sexual desires or told that she should not have children because she will not be able to provide for them. We have seen the statistics of how many women are raped and assaulted each year, yet we still blame them for their own assaults. We have seen the statistics on how many women are shamed for their bodies, yet we still judge them when they wear certain clothes. We have seen the statistics on how few women are CEOs, yet we still laugh at jokes about powerful women being bossy and too tough. Men talk about these issues all the time, but our thoughts are judged with a double standard. Women have complex emotions and we're more than just a wife or girlfriend. Women are complex beings with a lot of emotions, and we are not just wives or girlfriends. We are mothers, sisters, daughters, friends and partners. Some people think that it's easier for women to give up on the things they want in life because society has told them that they have to take care of their kids and families first. They have been conditioned to believe that they cannot have it all. In reality, most women still work very hard at their jobs while taking care of their families. Women make up 46% of the total workforce in the US, which is a significant number considering how many stereotypes exist about women being stay-at-home moms or housewives. The importance of accepting men's weaknesses as our own. The author argues that by accepting men's weaknesses as our own, we can start to change the toxic masculinity that is so prevalent in society. The author points out that we need to stop trying to be perfect and instead accept our weaknesses as part of who we are. He states that men must be allowed to move through the world with a sense of vulnerability and risk. The Complete Guide to Understanding the Mind of a Woman. The incredible complexity of women's minds. The goal of this article is to explore the complexity of women's minds. This complexity is not only seen in the way they think but also in the way they feel. To understand this complexity, we have to look into their psychology and biology. The article will provide an overview on how these two aspects make women's minds so complex and how it affects them in their daily lives. Understanding the female psychology. Many women have a hard time understanding the female psychology. This is because they don't understand the way in which women think and behave. One of the reasons for this is that society has conditioned men to be dominant and aggressive, while women are passive and submissive. As a result, many men don't really understand how to talk to women in order to get them to do what they want. Understanding the female psychology can help you better communicate with your partner or spouse, as well as understand why your daughter might be behaving in a certain way. The female senses and emotions. The female senses and emotions are different from the male ones. Women have a more acute sense of smell, touch, taste and hearing. These differences in the senses and emotions can be attributed to hormones. Women are more emotional than men on an average. This is because they tend to express their emotions more openly than men do, which is one of the reasons why women are often considered as better communicators than men. Female communication styles and behavior patterns. Women communicate in different ways than men. They are more sensitive and emotional, and they use a wider range of facial expressions and gestures while communicating. This article will explore the communication patterns of women and how they differ from those of men. The article will discuss how women communicate verbally, non-verbally, and through body language. It also explores the differences between verbal communication styles for women in different age groups, as well as between married and unmarried women. Female intelligence levels and IQ scales. There is a significant difference in the intelligence levels of females and males. This is because intelligence is largely determined by genetics and females are born with less genetic variations than males. This means that there are more women at the lower end of the IQ scale than men, and more men at the higher end of the IQ scale. Understanding the female brain features and differences with the male brain. The brain is an organ that controls the entire body. It is responsible for many critical functions like memory, speech, movement, and sensation. The human brain has many features and differences with the female and male brains. The female brain is typically smaller than the male brain, but it has a higher ratio of gray matter to white matter. The female brain also has more connections between hemispheres, while the male brain has a higher ratio of connections within hemispheres. The frontal lobe in females is larger and more active during tasks like problem solving, while in males it's less active. Females also have a thicker corpus callosum, which helps them process information faster than males do. Males are better at spatial reasoning, while females are better at verbal reasoning. The key differences between men's and women's brain. What do we know about the differences between men and women? In the past, women have been seen as less capable than men. They have been denied many opportunities and are often paid less for their work. This has led to a significant difference in the way that men and women are treated in society. The gender gap is a term used to describe this inequality between men and women. The term was first coined in the 1970s by Dr. Rosabeth Moss Kanter, who wrote a book called Men and Women of the Corporation. It is an unfortunate reality that many people believe that there are innate differences between men and women which lead to these inequalities in society. However, research has shown that these differences are largely due to societal expectations of what it means to be female or male, rather than any inherent difference between the sexes. How does our hormones affect our behavior? Hormones are chemicals that are produced by the endocrine system and regulate the body's growth, metabolism, and sexual functions. Hormones also regulate how we behave. The hormones that affect our behavior are testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and cortisol. Testosterone is a hormone that is associated with aggression in males. It causes an increase in muscle mass and sex drive, as well as an increase in confidence. Estrogen is a hormone that is associated with female characteristics such as breast development and menstruation. Progesterone is a hormone that helps to maintain pregnancy by preventing uterine contractions during the second half of pregnancy. Cortisol affects many body functions including blood pressure, glucose levels, metabolism, immune response, and memory retrieval. How does gender identity play into our whole experience? Gender identity is a complex and personal experience. It's not as simple as just being male or female. There are many identities that are all on a spectrum, and they can change over time nowadays. Gender identity is an important part of who we are, and it can be difficult to talk about it with others because there is such a stigma around the topic. In order to better understand gender identity, we need to first understand what it means to have one. What role do genes play in female development? Genes play a major role in the development of females. The sex chromosomes, X and Y, determine your gender. If you are 20, then you are a female, and if you are XY, then you are male. The Y chromosome contains genes that trigger the development of male physical characteristics such as more testosterone and larger muscles. The X chromosome has genes that control the development of female physical characteristics such as more estrogen and wider hips. Females have 2 X chromosomes while males have 1 X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome. The genes on these chromosomes work together to produce hormones like progesterone, which help regulate things like menstruation, pregnancy, childbirth, and menopause, among others. Many other genes also play a role in female development, including those that control hormone production or those involved in determining how tall or short someone is going to be, as well as their metabolism rate, which might also affect their weight gain or loss over time. The beauty of the woman's brain. Beauty is an elusive concept that is difficult to define. But what if we could use science to explore the beauty of a woman's brain? What does this mean for women? What does this mean for the world? How do women feel about their physical appearance? In this section, we will be exploring how women feel about their physical appearance and how that affects their self-esteem. There are many factors that can affect a woman's self-esteem, but there are 2 main factors: the media and other people. The media has an impact on women's self-esteem by portraying unrealistic beauty standards. They also focus on the way women look instead of what they do or who they are. Other people can have an impact on a woman's self-esteem by making them feel ashamed of themselves because they don't meet society's standards of beauty.